Handy Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make rough puff pastry. The secret to all of this is keeping everything cold. So I've sifted my flour and salt into this bowl and I've kept this in the fridge for a couple of hours. Okay, next we have butter, and you can see I've cut this into small cubes. Now the butter needs to be cold, but not so cold that you won't be able to work with it. So maybe get it out of the fridge half an hour before you're going to use it. Now using a knife, I'm just making sure that all of these pieces of butter are covered with flour. That's it. Into that I'm going to pour water. Now last night I put a bottle of water into the fridge so that it's really cold today. You really just need to keep things cold while making this. That's the only thing you need to do. So we've popped our water in. Now we're just going to roughly bring this together with our knife so that it makes a really lumpy dough. Just make sure you pick up all your flour. It's not hard at all to do this. Just have a scrape around and make sure I've still got a bit of flour in the bottom of that. Oh, try and work it against your body as usual. Right, I've got nearly all the flour up in there. So what I'm now going to do is flour my mat. And I am going to tip this, or take it out, onto my mat. As you can see, I better make sure my hand is very, oh this really is nice and cold. My hand is very floured. Just keep your hand floured because it's quite sticky at this stage. Okay, so I've picked up all of my flour from my bowl. All I'm going to do now is form this into a sausage. Like this. You can roll it. There you go. So it's sort of fairly even. Now we're going to do nothing else with this at the moment. What we're going to do is wrap this. Again, usually you would wrap this into cling film. I do not get on with cling film at all. So long as you've got a bit of flour over that, it's not a problem. I'm now going to wrap it in foil and I'm going to put this back in the fridge for around 15 minutes, just to keep it chilled down. Okay, so I've rested this now just for 15 minutes, just to keep it nice and chilled down. I'm going to flour my board again, and then unwrap my sausage. I'll keep the foil and put it to one side in case I need it in a little while. Now the only reason I need this to go back in the fridge again is if it starts getting too warm. So I have a palette knife here because what I want to do is try and keep the shape on this as much as possible. Okay, as you can see, it's looking really lumpy. Taking my rolling pin, I'm going to start, I'm just going to flatten that there. You need to roll, but only in one direction. I'm just making this wider here what we're looking for is to get this 3 times as long as it is wide. Now this is really useful for trying to help keep your shape. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to get that to the width I want it. Make sure you keep your butter in as you go. It's not hard to do this. Right, now we're going to go for the length on this. Now I'm looking for, as I said, 3 times the length. Now I'm just dusting that with flour. I don't want to put too much flour on it. Now we're going for around 1/2 centimetre. Now it looks like we're fairly there now. Right, can you see the butter has started to move through this? So what we're going to do now is we're going to fold this into the centre like this. I'll brush off any excess flour, and then we're going to bring the bottom over the top so that we've got a kind of envelope. Now it's important to try and keep your edges straight on this. So I'm going to give it a 1/4 turn, and then I'm going to reshape. I need to keep these edges as good as I can, or as close to a good shape as I can. Now as you see, I've done a 1/4 turn, so I now have the seam here. Now I'm going to roll this once more. Exactly the same thing again. I want it to be 3 times as long as it is wide, but just really try and keep those edges nice and straight. So I'm just going to seal those with my rolling pin. Get a bit of flour on it. And then, here we go, another roll, just in one direction, like this. So we've already folded this once. We're going to fold this a total of 4 times. If at any point, and under these lights, it is getting a little bit hot, that's not what I want. I want this to be nice and cool. So let's just move this a little bit more, and again I'm going to fold the top down 1/3 of the way, trying to keep these edges straight, and then I'm going to bring this one back up. There we go. Let's just keep them nice and straight, which is quite easy to do. Now I've done this twice, but under the lights it's getting really quite warm, so I'm going to seal the edges on that, and then I'm going to put 2 little thumbnail things in there. I'm going to put it back in the fridge to chill down again, but when I get it out I can remember I've rolled this twice, and I want to roll it a total of 4 times. Put it in, wrap it, and then chill it. Okay, so I've rested the dough again, because under these lights it's getting really hot. Now I really couldn't remember how many times I've done this, so it's a good job I marked this. As I said earlier, it's absolutely brilliant to do that. I forget so quick, it's ridiculous. So I'm just going to turn that out now on my work surface, and that is nicely chilled. I'm going to put the tiniest amount of flour on there to stop it from sticking to my rolling pin. So the same thing again, we want this at least 3 times as long as it is wide. Just a bit of flour on my rolling pin because it's struggling a tad here. I've actually gone off of my mat here, look at this, and you can see the butter is starting to streak all through this. Butter's got quite a lot of water in it, and so as it's cooking, you cook this at a fairly high temperature. As it's cooking, the water vapour sort of helps lift the pastry. So, again, halfway, or a third of the way, should I say. Maths was not my strong suit, as you can tell. Oh, stuck at this end as well. That's the butter doing this. So, over. We have our envelope. My envelope's a little bit bigger than it was before. Now, what we want to do is try and keep these edges in as straight as we can. So, let's square it up a bit. There we go. We're going to seal and give it a quarter turn again. This is not ideal working under these lights, I can assure you. Okay, we've got this on the right again, and this is going to be our final roll. So make it a good one. Now, can you see all that butter streaking through there? That is gorgeous. Nice streaks of butter there. Okay, that's 4 rolls. Final fold over. Let's just put that together. It's not actually a bad shape, is it? Which is highly unusual for me. There we go. So I'm using a sharp knife. I'm going to cut this down the middle, and there you go. You should be able to see these layers in the pastry. I'm going to put them in the fridge. They need to rest for an hour minimum before you use this pastry. This really needs to just be cold. It's as simple as that. Well, this was all a bit of an adventure. My son's bought me these little cones for Christmas, and while I was undoing them, I've cut my finger. Now, they're really sharp, which I was quite surprised about. Anyway, I've got a couple of trays ready, and here's my pastry. Gone for a walk there. My pastry has rested, and it's looking lovely. Look at this. So what I'm going to do now is roll it, and I'm going to be making sausage rolls with this piece. So, a bit of flour. I don't want to stick this at all. Just get my knife out of the way because I don't need that. And I'm going to roll one direction. We're going to roll this to about the thickness of a €1, £1 coin. Here we go. That looks pretty good to me. You can see that there's still these streaks of butter going through the pastry. Now we want that, definitely. Right, I've got a flour here because I'm going to turn out my sausage meat. It comes in a convenient square package here in France, which is brilliant because there's not a lot of mucking about with this. Now I'm just going to flour it so it doesn't stick to my board. And using my sharp knife, I'm going to cut a piece of sausage. Then I'm going to roll it and then put it on my pastry. I mean, this is just easy. You know how to do this. Everyone knows how to do this, I do believe, but we're going to do it anyway, this one. I'm going to put a bit of egg along here, and then I'm going to roll it over and press down my edge. There we go. Try and get that in. I might seal the end of that one and that one. Then all I'm going to do is cut across here. Now I like to score mine, so here we go. Just a couple of score marks across the rolls. And you can see that one's coming open, so I'm going to push it back down again. Okay, now it depends how big you want your sausage rolls. I'm going to make mine quite large. So there we go. And place them onto some greaseproof paper onto your tin. Again, cut a bit of sausage, give it a roll till you think it's going to fit. There we go, that's not too shabby at all, is it? I'm going to put my egg this side because it didn't work very well last time, did it? So pull it over and seal. I'm going to do this scoring before because it's a lot easier, and then I'm going to cut my pastry. Make sure I've got it all the way through. There we go. Make sure they're sealed again. And I'm going to cut through the middle and make me some nice big sausage rolls. I'm just keeping an eye on my finger because it was bleeding quite a lot earlier, so. Okay, I'm going to continue to do these until I'm finished with my sausage. Okay, well, I got quite a lot of sausage rolls out of my pastry, and they're looking lovely. What I need to do now is poke these into the fridge to chill down for a good little while, just till the pastry's not as pliable as it is now, probably 20 minutes, and then I'll egg glaze and then cook. You can see here I've cut some pastry into very long strips. Don't want these too thick, but you do need the length, because what I'm going to do is try and make some cream corns with this pastry. Oops. This may or may not be good. I've been having a bit of a practice because this is the first time I've ever done these, and I wasn't even sure that I could do these with one hand. Can you see I'm putting the tiniest bit of egg along this line here. I've just stuck down the tube with a little bit of pastry. Now all I'm going to do is turn. Can you see I want that little overlap there, so that we're working our way up this tube. There we go. I can hopefully pull back there. All you're going to do is very slowly spiral this up the tube until you get to the end. Oh, and look at that. I am so pleased with that one. It is untrue. Okay, next one. Pull it to one side. Oh God. Make sure that you've got it straight. That would be nice. Feel the thickness. I'm just going to roll that a tad to get a little bit more length on that. Okay, here we go. Once again, put a little bit of oil onto these. Don't need a lot, just a tiny bit. I use this spritzer. It is brilliant. It's good for using in my air fryer. There we go. All I've done is turned it over and stuck it. Okay, tiny bit of egg, tiniest little bit. It's just to make sure that that will stick together, and I've got 2 of these tubes here. I've not taken them apart very well, have I? Okay, here we go. Again, spiral it all the way up. Just going to put that in. Spiral it all the way up your tube, or as far as you can get with it. There we go. Another one done. Right, I'm going to carry on doing these until my pastries run out. Okay, so this is what I got out of my one load of puff pastry, or rough puff pastry. Now, these need to go and chill in the fridge. These have already chilled, they're my sausage rolls. So all I'm going to do now is give them a nice egg glaze. And then I'm going to be cooking these on 200 degrees for about 30 minutes. Well, my pastries, cream horn pastries, have come out lovely. They're not really as big as I wanted them to be, but I should really have rolled it out longer. But they're still looking good, so I'm pleased. So we're going to make some filling for these now. And it's just going to be a basic cream filling. So in this jug, I've got about 250 mils of cream. This is going to make way too much for that, but I can always use this on something else. I've got a teaspoon here. French cream doesn't stabilise like English cream, so I put a good spoon of mascarpone to stabilise that. I've also got icing sugar, 100 grams of icing sugar going into there. That's it. Now I'm going to whip this till it's really stiff peaks. So they're quite good to take off. If you can hear that. And I can do that quite easily with one hand. Okay, quite honestly, I've got to tell you, I totally demolished a couple of these. And one I can't get off the thing, so I will need some help for that. Anyway, we've got some to work with. So I have here a piping bag with just a star nozzle on it. I'm going to try and put this over this jug because that will really help me with filling my piping bag. There we go. Doesn't have to be absolutely on, but that is great. So here's my cream, and I'm certainly not going to need all of that I made. I think I was being a little bit optimistic with that. There we go, some cream into here, take it off. Take it down a bit. There we go. Oh, it's starting to come out. So, I've got a tiny little jug here because I need these stood up while I try and put some cream into them. Here goes. And there we have it. In this bowl, I've just got some glacé cherries that I've done a couple in half, just to make them look a bit better. And what I'm going to try and do is pop these all, hopefully, into a bowl. Oh, didn't stand. Never mind, we'll live. I'm going to carry on filling these If you can't use this piping bag, or put it together rather, get someone to do it for you. I've had to get my husband to put that together. I can't do it. Well, I've got to tell you, these are some of my sausage rolls. I hasten to add, because my husband came out while I was taking these out of the oven, and he has run away with a couple of these already. So I'm assuming they're okay. So here we go. I mean, I am so pleased with these. I mean, the pastry has risen beautifully. I think they look wonderful, and I think they're going to be delicious. So let's try. How crunchy and crispy is that pastry? I really don't think you can beat proper homemade puff pastry. I currently have the cones that we made earlier cooking in the oven, and we'll be back in a while to see how they go. Well, these are so tiny, I don't know if you can even see them. They actually look quite good. I'm quite impressed. For a one-handed job, I think that's quite a success for me. All that's left to do now is to try these out. Cherry on the top and full of cream. Oh, that's nice actually. I think I would try making these again. I think with practice you could get quite good at this. If you don't want to make the pastry, then you can always buy ready-made, but this is so much more cost effective. If you think we got all of those sausage rolls, we got these as well, and I could have used it for anything, could have made anything with this. They're like little ice creams. In fact, that might be an idea for the summer, to fill these with ice cream. Anyway, these aren't brilliant, but the sausage rolls were absolutely to die for, and I can tell you there are only a couple left already because my husband keeps coming back for more and more and more. Anyway, if you liked what you saw today, please hit the bell, subscribe, like, share, to see me make some affordable, delicious food. Thank you for watching.